welcome to episode 8 of season 2, Straighten Your Crown. Today we are talking about managing people and creating a culture within your business and why that is so important. So we will throw it over to...
Well, HR's you, babe, you know? Oh, damn.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Kristy?
Sure, over to me, and then I'll throw it back over to you.
Perfect.
I think so. One of the most important things about your business is actually the culture, because effectively your staff, your team should come first, and then your customers. Because if you don't love your staff and your staff don't love you and they don't love their jobs, then they're not going to be good to your customers. Yeah. So it's really important from the outset that you work out what kind of culture that you actually want to create. So, yeah, for instance, with Empress Athleticus, and I think we can probably both have a chat about, what our culture is like, but we're definitely, we're here to support women, and pretty much our whole team is women, and we want to build and grow that team. So we have a great culture of women. We've got women that are different ages. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we kind of all fit together. We're all, we're all kind of fun loving and have, really good banter with each other, and we make sure we do things like, lunches and, those kind of things together that, keep us, banded together. So yeah, culture is super important.
I think this is a big one. It's going to be a little bit controversial. Ooh. So sorry, everybody. It's not like me. It's not like me to just throw a spanner in there.
My opinion is really controversial, Brittany.
I'm actually really interested to see what's going to be. So
I've started saying this since being friends with you, Kristy, because you're a lawyer. I just don't want to say the wrong thing that I'm not allowed to. So I'm not taking any legal liability for what I'm saying right now.
So it's without prejudice.
Without prejudice. Thank you so much. Okay, so a big one is, and people say this all the time, how do I make my staff love my business as much as I do? Mm-hmm. Stop thinking like that. It is absolutely impossible.
They're never going to love your business.
They're not going to love your business as much as you do.
That's all right.
But it's really, really important to understand that, and understand what obviously gets them excited about coming to work, because it's not going to be the same reasons that you get excited for work. So it's really important to know that and not get upset with that, because I think a lot of business owners be like, why aren't they doing, why aren't they helping me when I need them, or why aren't they want to do free overtime
80 hours in a week?
Yeah, like it's really important to know that, because they're all going to have different reasons as to why they love coming to work. They also are going to have different requirements as to what they need in their life to be able to afford to even come to work. So when you're hiring, asking those important questions, okay, well, what's your lifestyle like? What are you planning for? Are you wanting to buy a house? Are you wanting to do this? Are you wanting to do that? Like, what are your kind of goals at the start?
And how can we help them achieve those goals?
Exactly.
That's a big focus
because
for us.
We've got this massive rule that we don't ever want people working on our dream if we're not considering theirs. Mm-hmm. So one of our big rules is to help women start their own business if that's something that they want to do. Now, a lot of our staff don't really care about that, but we love to still throw around ideas at the lunch table. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what if we did this? Or what if we got into stocks? Or what if we got into, different things that, we could maybe have little side hustles or do little things like that. The other thing is making sure that you stick onto your 3-month reviews. Stick onto those reviews. We get Kristy to do them. It's completely confidential. She works with them. She understands their why. It's also a really great place for Kristy to actually have a chance to talk to the staff, because obviously I'm here full time because they're at my house.
I'm not with the staff every day.
Yeah, Kristy's not with the staff every day, so it's really important. And she's kind of like that third party audience. Okay, well, what do you need? How can we make your job? Is there something you want to learn? Is there something you want to do? Is like, do you want to buy a house? Like all the things that are super important. She asks those really important questions.
And how can we help you get there?
Yeah.
What do you need from us to help
then
you get
she
there?
Comes to me with a list of all the things that we could help with. She obviously doesn't go through, oh, well, they
said this and they didn't like that. Yeah, none of that.
It's just the important stuff that I need to know to make sure that, okay, can we actually do that? Is that something that, and normally it always is, like it's normally just a few switches around. You'll also be surprised when you do it, because what you think your staff want are very different to what they actually want.
And what you think they're thinking is very different to what they actually say to you.
100%.
So reviews are super important.
They are so important, and a lot of businesses go, oh yeah, I know my staff, I know what they want, I know what they
They'll come to us if they need anything. No. As the employee in that situation, it's like, okay, I will. I'll go to Brittany, because Brittany's my best friend, and I'll go, oh, you know, this is what we're doing, this is what we're planning, but it's completely different coming from that place of authority where Kristy's sitting there across, and she's like, okay, so what are your goals? 12 months from now, what would you like your life to be like? Do you want to be still working for us? Do you want to be in your own home? Do you want to get a new car? Do you know, all of those kind of things. And it does come from that place of caring, but you're caring about us as the staff member, but you're also caring about your business. Get it? It's making sure that everybody's still on the same page at all times.
Yeah. Well, you can help also, and you don't want it to get too bad. So there's this thing called a bad egg syndrome. And it's when you have a negative staff member in your group and it turns all of the other staff members negative. I see it in business all the time. So it's really important to identify the negative energy, having those conversations with those people, and if they're not the right fit, fire them. And I think that is something.
It's a bit harsh, but it's true.
It's not. Yeah, it's one of those things like you hire slow and you fire fast.
But it's not even about firing them as well. If you put probationary periods into their contract when they start, then you've got that 3 months to work that out. If they're not the right culture fit, then in your words, fire them or let them go.
Yeah, well,
so that's why
you can say it nicely. We could say it how it is. I think there's a situation though, like people be like, oh, I should be able to make everybody happy in my business. Everybody should want to work with me. I feel like a failure if I have to feel like I have to let someone go. And you can't think like that with business, because some people are a right fit and some people just aren't, and that's completely fine. And I'm talking about like not just like, you know, they want to go part-time but you want them full-time. That's fine. That's completely fine. I'm talking about things like they hate coming to work. There is no way to motivate them. They are always angry and moody every single day. They're making everybody else moody and angry.
Or they're causing other issues where they're doing things like gossiping and, you know, bitching and all of those internal things, and that is just completely toxic.
They're making people feel uncomfortable. Like it's very important that once you get your culture right, don't let it get ruined.
I think everybody knows somebody in an organisation that has exactly that, or has worked with these people before. Like you can see it, and the thing is, usually management can see it, but if you don't say anything, sometimes they don't know.
I also think this is a big one too. Like I have friends and family and, you know, tons of people in my life that have businesses, and one of the things we all do it is to go, I can turn them around. This can be better. I can make this better. I can make them see it my way. I can, you know, make them stop being such a negative person. Like you start.
I can make them love their job. This
and
is
even
like
I can make them work not even harder, better, or even do their standard job. But you always make all these excuses because you don't want to fire people. You don't want to fire people. But this is why it's really important to hire slowly. Understand exactly the people that you're getting into the workplace. Understand their exact why. Understand their personalities. Even doing trials is a really good one. Get them in with the girls. If they're all just a massive personality, like
don't hire them.
Here's another one as well. Very slow.
Don't hire on convenience. So if we say, oh look, we're really busy at the moment, let's hire anyone. The first person that comes through the door. Don't do that, because you're going to end up in 3 months down the track where they're not the right culture fit. We didn't consider that, and then we're in a position where we either need to let them go on their probationary period or fire them. And then it's awful for everybody else.
It's a shitty feeling. You don't want to fire people.
No,
really don't. So that's what we say. It's really important to hire slow. Don't hire on convenience. Don't even family and friends is a hard one. Like, sorry, babe, but like Maddie's a different kind of person. You know what I mean? And it was
she was a good hire.
She was a good hire. Like, yes, there are. You know, you can hire friends and family that are a great hire because they care about the business as much as you do. They care about your why like a lot more than any other staff member. But in saying that, if you hired a friend who you weren't really good friends with, you didn't really like their work ethic, you didn't really like their attitude towards work, then it's not going to work, and you're pretty much going to not only fire them, but you're also probably going to lose them as a friend. So it's very important that even if you are hiring on convenience, that you're making sure to go through those standard processes. Get a trial, make sure they're happy with the team, making all those things are very, very important.
So coming off of culture and maybe going back to managing people, what are some of the things that Kristy, you've had quite a few businesses and you have quite a few employees. What are some of the things that you've seen go wrong when managing people, and how could maybe people not do the wrong thing?
That's a very clear and concise question.
Yes, thank you so much. I know my thoughts. Thank you.
I think the first thing to realise is the difference between a leader and a manager. So that's the first thing, and you can't be both to your staff. So when you're in a startup situation, you're probably the manager, the leader, and the cleaner. You're absolutely everything. But as the business gets bigger, you can't be, again, everything to everyone. So if you're going to lead them, you need to lead them. You need to lead with the mission, vision, and values of the business. So everybody that works with you understands, okay, this is our common goal, this is our North Star, this is the direction that we're going in, and they follow your lead. So if you lead poorly, follow by example. If you're never there and you're doing the wrong thing and you don't care, you can't expect your team to do the right thing and care about your business if you don't. You need to give them some direction. If your direction is poor, where this person's telling them to do something and this person's telling them to do something else and they don't know whether they're coming or going, again, that's poor. That's one level of management where you can go the exact opposite, which you can probably imagine what I'm going to say, which is micromanagement. Where you don't want to micromanage people to the point where they don't want to come to work because they feel that somebody is constantly watching them. To the point where they actually become quite paranoid about doing their job or their ability to do their job properly, because you've constantly got somebody picking at you or telling you how to do things that you already know how to do. So I think you've got to find that fine line between, if you're the leader, be the leader, which is mission, vision, values, and the direction that the company's going in. Management is the person that deals with the actual team day to day. And you can have, I wouldn't say friends, I wouldn't say that you're friends with them, but you can have that friendlier approach with giving direction. And then there's the other extreme, which is micromanagement, which you never want to do. So you just need to be a good manager who gives direction, and not over the top.
Can I tell you something that really annoys me with business? So there's micromanaging, which is one thing, but then there is task sticklers. And they are so annoying. So
give me an example.
You'll have these managers that will come in and you'll see them more in like a massive corporate stance. So on a massive corporate stance, they would have like 300 people in the office. They would be looking after a team of 10 to 20, and every single person has a very specific job that they do. But the person who leads that group doesn't actually do anything. Their job is to make sure that those people get their jobs done. Then when those people, those managers, go into, from a corporate standpoint, into a smaller business, and they don't know how to do like the standard jobs, it is so...
Because they don't know how to do anything, because all they've ever done is tell people what to do. They're people that have never run a business.
Yeah, they're called corporate frauds, and it's a massive... No, it is though. Like in a massive business, you wouldn't notice that they don't actually know how to do their job. But in a smaller standpoint, you would.
Do you know what though? You do notice them, because I come from a big corporate organisation. So I'm one of those people that leads a team. The difference is I've always had my own business. So I always know how long it takes to do something. So for instance, I would never, ever, ever walk up to a secretary, throw a piece of paper at them and tell them to do something in 6 minutes when I know it takes 20. How do I know it takes 20? Because I've done the stuff myself. I've typed that thing myself. I've filed that thing myself. I know how long it takes. But you can tell the difference between me, who's run a business, and being everything in that business, including the cleaner when I started it, to then when you work your way up, and yes, you're managing that team, but you do notice very clearly the difference between me, who has been there and done that would never ever throw something at someone and expect
to be done in 2
ridiculous
seconds.
when it doesn't take 2 seconds.
100%. So in saying what Kristy just said, one of the things that is really important is to hire internally. I don't know how to say that correctly. So for instance,
and I still don't know what you mean.
So say if I had a marketing assistant and they were a junior and they were literally doing what I'm telling them to do, they just help them with the little things that I need done. I'm slowly going to be teaching them more and more skills that they can add to their resume. So if they ever leave me, I say, add that to your resume. That's going to be a good one. And I always say that to all of my staff that I ever have, add that to your resume. So then eventually they'll
So
have
hire
like
the
a
people.
massive,
Got it. I get it now.
yeah, they'll have a massive group of things that they can do. You make them your managers because they know how to do the little jobs in between. Another thing that's really
they've done
important.
it.
And they've also seen that you delegate those tasks when you can't do it, and delegating them correctly as well.
They understand what's a part of it. So it's really, really important to hire internally. That's probably a better way. Hire internally. So sorry.
Well, if you can do that. Otherwise, if you're hiring externally, what you need to look for on the resume is that they've actually done those tasks. They haven't gone into somewhere from nowhere as management that just delegates and tells people what to do, but they don't actually know how to type the thing, sew the thing, you know, whatever the case is. You know, and if you look at like with Empress Athleticus, you know, I know how to order fabric. I know how to order prints. I don't know how to sew, but I'm going to learn how to do
we are
that.
going to teach you. Very
I'm
excited.
going to learn to make scrunchies. So I don't know how to sew, but what I can say is that I know that, you know, I'm not going to go and say, why hasn't this been sewn in 2 minutes? If the thing takes 7, it takes 7.
Yeah, and that's also a really good one too that you do all the time. You never go, hey, why did this not get done? Or why is this like, are we not sticking to this? You're always a situation of, hey, how long does it actually take to make a pair of leggings? Or how long does it take to make a pattern? Or how long does it take? And then you start getting a better understanding versus just going in and being like, why is this not done? You always get a better understanding first. And then you go, okay, so if it's going to take 2 hours, 2 days. Shit, I thought it was only going to take, okay, cool. Well, how long do you think it's going to take? Like a couple of weeks? All right, cool, perfect. And then you have a better understanding, and then you are able to then help us out by understanding better. That's very, very important. Yeah. The other thing are task sticklers. So people who go, for instance, if I was to hire a graphic designer and I needed them to make myself newsletters, for instance.
Is this going to be the people that go, I'm not employed to do that. I only do my job.
Yeah,
That's
so
it's not only
it's those it's the employees, but it's also the managers as well. So the first thing is, if you hired a graphic designer and you go, okay, I need you to make newsletters, and then one day they got all over their newsletters, go, okay, cool, can you help me make this website banner? Can you help me do this? If they say, oh, I just want to make newsletters, or the manager goes, oh, no, they can't make them, they only do newsletters. It's very important to be able to give your staff as many hats as possible. Reason one why that's so important is people get bored very quickly. You want to keep their day dynamic. You want to keep their week dynamic. You want to mix it up, and you want to ask them, is there something you want to learn? Maybe you want to learn to edit a video. Is that something that you're interested in?
Stuff when you're hiring though, because there are a lot of people out there that say, no, I only want to do newsletters. And if that's the people that you're looking at hiring, they're probably not the right fit, particularly in a culture fit.
In a massive corporation, and you just needed someone to make newsletters, they would be great for them. They would be great for that situation.
So
on a smaller business standpoint, I'm talking like max of like 50 people.
You need to be versatile.
You need to have hat wearers, because it will get too ridiculous. You'll have people going, I know that's not my job description, or I can't do that. It's really important to discuss those job descriptions straight away. Even in Madi's job description, her job description is very broad. It says, you know, helping in production, helping in marketing, but her main role is customer service.
Hosting straight in your crowd.
Hosting straight in your crowd, you know what I mean? Like her main job is customer service. But in her job description, there's so many other things that we touch base on, and we ask those questions before we hire, because you don't want to get job sticklers, because it's very hard. We need people that can just jump in and go, I can help, yep, no problem, I can do this. Or we have those meetings, we go, guys, this one needs to happen today. What do we think we can do to get our goal met? Our mission, vision, value, what do we think we can do? And everybody goes, oh, I wouldn't mind learning how to do that. I wouldn't mind helping with that.
And that's exactly what our team do at Empress Athleticus. Even in the reviews where they've indicated, it's like, I would really love how to sew. I'd really love to learn to pattern make, or I'd really love to, like me, I really want to learn how to make scrunchies.
We're going to get there. We're going to love to make a scrunchie.
We're going to be the best scrunchies.
Maybe we'll buy scrunchies for the next month.
I'll let you know when I'm making them.
We'll put up on
Kristy's dodgy scrunchies. So there's the real ones, and then there's the dodgy ones. And I'll be for sale.
But yeah, it's really, really important to have those tough conversations with your staff. Not tough conversations. Have those conversations before
in the first place,
hiring.
before you hire them.
Yep, hire slow. If they aren't the right fit, go within those probation periods and fire fast. I know it's awful, but that's why you
Just
have
get
to
the
hire
right
slowly.
person. Get the
You know
right
what I mean? That's why
person.
it's so important to hire the right people, because you don't want to have to fire them within those 3 months. It's also really important to understand how to be a good manager, understanding to hire the people that aren't going to be those task watchers. Yeah, it is a massive thing, but it's really important to, I think that's a massive one with business as well. People don't realize how important management skills are until they have a bad situation and they go, oh wow, I actually don't have any skills in this, I need more help.
Yeah.
And understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Is that something that you're not great at? I can't fire people. It gives me anxiety. But Kristy can do it. I don't
love it.
You don't love it. I don't think anybody loves it. But like, that's not something that.
But I've done it, and I've done it for 20 years.
Yeah,
so
you understand
I
the importance
deal with
of
it in a pleasant and polite manner.
Yeah, so in the HR in regards to hire, fire, management, even giving me tips and making sure that I'm doing my job correctly, making sure the other girls are doing their job correctly, it's really
vice
important.
versa. We do that with each other, which is why we
So we work well.
awesomely together.
Thank you for joining us this week for Straighten Your Crown. We will see you next time.
See you guys!